I'm sitting in the crack, dude.
Dude.
No.
I'm actually sitting. Can we move a bit more?
No. We finally got the lighting done properly. Yeah. Just do that for the whole thing. It's fine.
Ah!
I'm gonna start with.
So with the Unicorns game, we basically got the picks that we wanted. We got a comp that we practiced a lot, and when it came to execution in like the mid to late game, after a really strong early game, we basically weren't committing to fights that we should have early on with compositions with Ezreal. As you may have noticed, like they generally perform better when you're snowballing early and when you're pressing advantage at that point. Luckily, it was still a really strong team fighting composition overall, so when we were finally comfortable enough to push the go button, we were making strides, but overall we just should have been pushing our advantage much more in the mid game.
Yeah, I think we played our comp pretty wrong. Like, I think our draft could have been a little bit better. Why did you laugh? I think we just made many mistakes in the mid game. Like, we didn't play the comp. We didn't play the comp in the way we wanted to play the comp, and we just... Why are you laughing?
I couldn't acknowledge it, dude. He was just looking at me
Because you were just cracking.
No, I didn't.
All the time.
Just to meet Sheriff.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm ready. I heard the question. I think what went right in those... Okay. But I think why our... Dog, dude. Okay. I think our win against Misses was really clean because we did proper lane assignments and we overall played like we usually do in scrims. So I think also on top of that we played against Aniva and she didn't really do too much because Aniva is kind of a pick that no one really knows how to play it, and yeah, I think it was a pretty clean game because of those two factors.
Yeah, so the Shook effect is still going strong, luckily, and I think the reason that this whole thing sort of works is similar to why the Kasing effect works, and it's that both Shook and Kasing have really strong instincts when it comes to their roles. Shook is just a really great jungler overall, and what the team was missing was not like a huge shot call or something like that. Everybody on this team like understands strategically what we should be doing with like a lead when we're playing like the right side of the map, and Shook is on the same page as everyone with that because he's just naturally really good at the game. So a lot of stuff that we've been working on for weeks and months was all able to come out of the floodgates in one go. So thanks, Shook.
I don't actually feel pressured at all by memes or anything. Like, I just always try to play my best. I put in the practice, and yeah, I just hope to make my team as good as possible. And whatever people think of me, they can think of me. I'll just try to do my best.
I mean, at the state of Europe right now, the fact that we're still in contentions for playoff is really good, because I honestly think that we have good chances against most teams in Europe. So we're still in the running, no matter how weird the odds may seem, and the odds have remained in our favour thus far because Europe is so close. Like, we've beaten a lot of the teams above us already. We've beaten some of the top teams already, so we know we can do this.
Yeah, I think we have a good chance of making playoffs. Like, we've dropped some games against bad teams, but we've also won some games against good teams, so it's all about us playing our game, making sure we're on the same page, how to play our comp, and I think we can make it.
Yeah, I think we played well our last two games, even though we lost the Unicorns one. I think if we just keep going and we play like how we do in scrims, then I think we can make playoffs.
Unicorns are looking really good right now, so like it's not exactly like we were dropping to like a lower tier team by anyone's estimation. They've beaten most of the teams above them at this point, and people aren't even completely writing them off against the top two teams, of which we've already beaten one of them, and we also beat Vitality before it was cool. So, okay, so with Roccat, we are actually looking to tie worst case scenario with them, so we're already in a really good spot, less its Shook effect overhead. I think that we can easily go 2-0 over them again. This is actually a team I'm pretty confident in planning against, and I have a lot of respect for two players on the team, Memento and Noskera, and I actually worked with them back on Schalke, back when Schalke was actually winning things. And when it comes to Schalke themselves, I mean, they knew what they were getting into, they knew exactly what they were getting into, and yeah, I'm very confident versus them as well.
Yeah, so we're going to be playing G2 and Splyce, and I personally think it's going to be harder to play G2 because I think they have better individual players, but I think Splyce is looking also really strong right now with the amount of team play they have. So I think for me personally G2, but also I think Splyce is a really good team right now. So I think it's gonna be close between those two.
I also think G2 has probably the better chance of beating us, but I do think we're gonna make it a close game at least, and I think we can grab the win. I think Splyce is, they're playing well as a team, but they have some minor issues in lane phase and such. So I think G2 will be the better opponent, but I think we can take them on both.
I think G2, I actually think almost the opposite of what Selfie just said. I think G2 work better as a team than Splyce do, and I think that Splyce's bot lane is better than G2's bot lane, so I don't think it's like G2 have just better players across the board or something. I think if there's a huge discrepancy, it's in the mid lane between G2 and Splyce, but I think that we can take on both, so bring it on.
I think if we played with this team at the beginning of the split, like as a group, we would probably make top 4 at least. I think if I had some more time to gel with the team at the start and just work around how we want to play, like I think we would be a lot better right now. Like it still takes time for me to come in here and be as good as I can be with the team. So it definitely gives the edge to other teams, but we're making it work so far. So yeah, I would think we would be better.
Actually, really interested in thinking about that actually, because I wonder how the team strategically would have progressed, because we didn't really get a proper, like really strong talks about how to close out mid to late game for like a large amount of H2K. Like we did like right at the beginning in scrims, and then when things were going downhill, it was really difficult to talk about like our strategy to close games with certain comps and stuff. But with Shook, we probably would have had that like right from right all the way through. So I'd be really interested in like where we would be strategically right now if we'd had like this core team at the start. Also, theoretically, we'd have had a lot more money since we would have had to have bought Selfie out from Cloud9. So thanks Cloud9 for not knowing what you had.
I think we would have done like top 4. I think we the only thing that we struggle a little bit is closing out games. So I think if we just played like in the off season and practice together, that would have been a lot better. So and I also think we have a good individual players, so I think top 4 is pretty good.
Alright, so are you done with your socks, mate?
Yeah, sure.
Wait, is it NIP?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so with the level of progress that we've already made, and given everything else, I'm really confident going into summer, even if we don't necessarily make playoffs this split. I think with a stronger start, playoffs would have been a cinch. I think we would be developing towards being like a top 4 team, as these two say. When it comes to actually taking like the whole thing, I'm still very confident that we could actually make like a run for Worlds with this roster, because you only need to be top 4 to be in like with a really good fighting chance of Worlds. We'd be making a gauntlet run theoretically if we didn't make playoffs, and it's not unheard of. Like Splyce, for example, were in a similar-ish situation, and they made Worlds as well. So I still think we're in with a very good shot of going all the way here.
Yeah, I do think we have a good shot of like doing super well in the summer split. I think our team like has a lot of good players. Like we don't have any like dumb players. Like we all know how the game is supposed to be played, how you want to play for it. Like we just have to make it happen. Like we just have to put the hours into it. And I think if you give us one more split, we'll be way better. And like just make sure we're all on the same page, and we'll be good.
Yeah, I think if we just if we go into next split, even if we don't go to playoffs, it's as long as we just keep being positive and we believe in ourselves, then I think we're gonna be really strong contender and hopefully go to Worlds. But as of now, I just want to go playoffs.
A large amount of this confidence comes from the fact that we had really strong side lanes already with our bot lane and with Smithy. So big shout out to them, even though they're not racing us on the couch.
Friday,
9 PM.
G2.
Saturday,
6 PM.
Splyce.
Tune in.
Alright, done.
Please don't do this.
Yeah.
This is ultra cringe.
Can I just not turn left and look at him or something?
I'll just look in the camera.
Yeah, just look in the camera. I say 9 PM, he says the team, and then you go like it's you, me, him, okay? Mm-hmm. I assume she cuts that part.